What's up, YouTube? It's been a while since I actually filmed anything just because I've been so busy with work and stuff, but long story short, I just wanted to give you an update of what we're trying to work on here in the shop. I got our crate modified in here that my little brother runs for my dad. We're working on this thing. Rebuilt some shocks on it. Doing a couple things on it. We have a really big race that we race in New Jersey every single year right around Thanksgiving called the Turkey Derby. So it's the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, it starts, and we'll be racing that car. But anyway, I don't know if anybody follows me on Instagram, but if you do, you saw that we ended up getting the truck tinted. The windshield I did in 50%. The side windows I redid in 35. It's hard to see with the glare. And the back I redid in 5. The back used to be 50, and I ended up bringing it down to 5 just because I like the way it looked. The side windows are 35, fly windows 35, and the windshield's 50. The GoPro right now is making it look a lot darker than it really is. It's not really this dark. It looks like 5 in the GoPro video right here, but it's really not. You can see right inside the truck, and it's got a nice smoky look to it, and it looks pretty sick when you look through the smoked glass and see the Ford Motorsports emblem and stuff on the seat. But yeah, I had that. I posted that on Instagram the day I got it done. The windshield I didn't do myself just because I'm not really the best tinner, and I don't really care to do any compound curves. So I had a friend of mine come over and he redid the whole windshield for me, but the side windows in the back I did myself. So anyway, a couple more projects I want to keep rolling on Casper that I never really got to do. And one of them is a bumper tuck on the front. These trucks, these bump side trucks, the front bumpers overhang the side of the truck a decent amount. You know, you're talking 2 inches, 2 1/8 to the outside from the body of the truck. And I just always hated how this looked. Like, this gap right here, to me, looks terrible. I don't know, maybe it's me, maybe it's just the eye that I have for things, but I don't like the way that looks at all. So I'm going to cut this bumper down. This side's actually a little less, yeah, an inch. So they're 1 inch off per side because this bumper here actually has a bend in it. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little pushed back over here. Probably hit something in its lifetime at one point, but it's a little pushed back. And you got to remember, the 1 inch difference over here doesn't mean it's really 1 inch off. What I mean is, the bumper, if I pulled that bumper out 1/4 of an inch, we might get our inch back in the back by the time the leverage of that bumper moving forward changes. So what I'm going to do, my son helped me tape, and my son is 2, so this is all the 2-year-old tape. That's not me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this line on the bumper on both sides as close to the bolts as I can, because I know the frame rail area of the truck is square. Like, this whole center section of this front bumper is pretty straight for the most part. It's a little bent back right here. Like I said before, it's a little pulled back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it along these lines on both sides. Take my bumper pieces that I have on the outside here and basically just move them in and re-weld it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this, move this whole bumper piece in, overlap this actual cut, so the bumper will be in here somewhere, and I'm going to mark it on the back side of where this line is to where I get that bumper tucked completely against the side of this upper valance here on the truck. So I'm just going to bring this whole bumper in so it's, you know, basically bumper tucked, because it's time for these bat wings to go. So that's what I have going on. I have some balances and stuff that I'm making this week for people. If you go on our website, DomFederussoRacing.com. I do have a discount code this week for 15% off all of the front balances, like you see on Casper here, and the A-pillar covers that I have on Casper. You can see the A-pillar cover over there. And this one here, all dimple die holes. And also what I'm going to be adding to the website are these speaker covers. These trucks were, I guess, optioned with a stereo. My truck has the factory Ford stereo delete piece in it, but I made this piece out of 040 aluminum. It's brushed aluminum. It looks really nice. And I used this to cover the broken speaker hole in the truck because it just looked like hell. And the brush piece goes nice with my truck. It's basically raw aluminum, so you can do whatever you want. But the whole theme of the inside of my truck is, it's got a brushed aluminum wheel, brushed aluminum gauge bezels, brushed aluminum shifter handle that we built, and the brushed aluminum speaker cover. So I tried to keep everything inside the truck brushed. That was my goal. So basically rambling, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to be adding these to the website if anybody's interested. I don't really know a price point on them yet. I'll try and figure that out, but I'm going to be adding those speaker covers to the dashboards of the 67 to 72. They'll be available on the site hopefully today. And like I said, everything is 15% off on our website. T-shirts, hats. I have some basic stuff on there. I'm going to be adding more shirts and more hats when I get a little bit more time. But the valances are still available. The A-pillars are still available. I have 3 valances I need to make and get them out this week. And if you're interested in anything, 15% off. It's a huge saver. 20, 30 bucks off any valance. It's pretty good savings to me. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get back right to this. I'm going to cut these bumper ends off, move them in, mark them, tack weld them, get everything back in place, and see what it looks like. Alright, so then after you cut something off, like I did, I cut the bumper off, and you'll end up with something like this, your bumper end. And like I said, my whole point was to move this bumper in so that it's a tighter fit on the outside, and I want mine pretty tight. So like that's where I want it to sit, where it's flush with the side of the truck. And you can see the difference in how much we're going to shorten the bumper here. And we're going to shorten the bumper this much. So I'm going to take a mark off this, get a line right here, and I'm going to cut the remaining piece off this bumper and then weld it back in place. And it should be good. There's a good shot at the DFR valance. You can see how it's bolted to the chassis and pushes the air up to the radiator. I paint match mine to the truck, but you can leave it to brushed aluminum, whatever you want to do. But that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to get these ground down, cut to fit on both sides, ground down, and then I'm going to weld it back in place and see what it looks like. Alright, so I ended up getting the bumper ends welded back in place, and when you're finished, and you can see how nice and tucked this all is now. This bumper is way further in. This side was a little hammered up because it was crashed anyway, so I wanted to fix this regardless. But when you're done, you should just have a little stitch weld running down. I tried to keep my weld and my grind area as small as possible. And what I did on the bumper on both ends, I 45'd the edge of this bumper and 45 the edge of this bumper, and I filled that whole valley with a stitch weld. And I'll just come through here and I'll grind through this, and you will end up with something like this. This is all ground smooth. This is all level. Everything feels nice. And you can see this side as well. Look how nice and tucked this side is too. No more gap from this angle, you know, a little bit here, but that's because I have to clear this valance. But I just tucked the bumper up to this valance, and super nice looking, way cleaner looking. Bumper's nice and tucked in. Such a little modification, but changes the whole look. And I'll go back through and I'll touch this up with some touch-up paint that I have, and you won't even tell. So I'll show you that one as soon as I'm finished. All right, so I ended up finishing this whole bumper tuck that I've been talking about, and it didn't take me long. It only took me maybe, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half, just grinding it. But I just wanted to show you the end result and how nice it actually looks. So now you can see the total difference where I smoothed out my weld. You can see where I just hit it with some spray paint, and I hit it with some flat white primer. This bumper is like an off-white, it's like a Wimbledon white. So I hit it with some flat white primer, and then I went over it with some off-white color, like a cream color, and I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'll come back through, which I hate, but in situations like this, it's like really the only time you can do your fake patina stuff. I mean, I hate fake patina, but what I'm gonna actually do on this, just because the whole bumper is scratched up, I don't want just a strip of white paint going down. Like you can see that. So I'll just go back through with a piece of sandpaper and just kind of scuff this edge up a little bit. Same thing with this side. I'll go through and scuff this and really not so much scuff it, but really just kind of blend it and blend all that in as smooth as I possibly can get it. But I think it looks awesome. Looks totally different than what it was. And this still gives me the support of the bumper. And like I said, the way I welded that on a V on both sides and filled that whole gap. It's completely tucked against the cab of the truck. And I just think it looks way better. Looks way cleaner, way smoother. This is a short video. I know it's a short video. It wasn't meant to be long, but keep an eye on the website this week. Hopefully I get this video up this week. So I keep talking about Black Friday, but keep a look on our website if you're interested in the valance and the A-pillars and that speaker cover I'm going to make. Keep a look on the website. It's 15% off. Save 15, S-A-V-E 15, and you'll save 15% on anything on the website. T-shirts, hats, valances, A-pillars, whatever. But I appreciate you guys watching. If you like these type of videos, comment down low, give it a like. All that stuff matters. It's corny to say, but it really does help guys that post on YouTube to get the video out a little bit more. But there's a couple other things I want to do on this truck over the winter. I mean, I have a whole nother motor for this truck that I'm going to be building as well. I have a Bryant Racing crank out of an old Ford Winston Cup motor. These are a set of Ford World Product Windsor Senior heads that I'm gonna build on the motor. I got a Pro 50 short throw shifter for the T5 that's in the truck. Nice valve covers that I'll end up painting. I got the intake manifold. I got everything to build a 357. It's really a stroker motor, a 357 stroker motor for Casper. And the motor in the truck's great. It's got that built 289 that I've always talked about. And the motor in the truck is perfectly fine. But I don't know. I got all these parts really cheap. I have to buy a block, which will be the most expensive part. A 9.5-inch deck, 351 Windsor block. So that's what I'm going to buy next. And but look at these. These are all the pistons and rods that I'm going to be running on the motor, or in the motor. These are all Carrillo. These are beautiful rods, H-beam rods, with some really, really nice fasteners in them. 12-point ARP 2000 fasteners on a Carrillo rod. This is a 6.2 inch rod, long rod motor. Some nice aluminum Manley pistons. I mean, and this motor was used, it was ran, but it was super low runtime. So that's the next build of what I'm going to do. I'm going to be putting that motor together, me and my buddy Pete, and it should be pretty rowdy. I'm going to have to end up building the 5-speed, putting a different clutch in it, going through the rear end. The truck has 355 gears in it, which is great on the highway and it's great cruising around town. I love it. I might just go up to a 373 gear set, maybe a different differential, just something, maybe just to beef it up a little bit. It is a Ford Explorer rear, and I'm pretty sure they are 31 spline axles that came in the Ford Explorers. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong, but I don't know why that's in my brain that the early Ford Explorer rears came with a 373 gear. But anyway, I'll just keep rambling. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for watching the bumper tuck. That's the motor that we're gonna end up putting together for this. Keep an eye on the channel. I am all over the place with posting. The summers are a little bit easier for me. Once we get into the winter months, it's kind of just gets trickier with weather and daylight and stuff like that. I have to keep the doors shut, and it's kind of annoying. Anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Like the video, comment down low. Let me know what you liked about it. Let me know what you didn't like about it. And have a great holiday season.